Hello class, my name is Mark Pinner, and the test I'm doing is 30 to 15 intermediate fitness test. If you guys remember in high school and middle school, we used to take this test every year. We all hated it because we wanted to play sports. We didn't want to take a test for athletics. So we pretty much, the teacher would pretty much have a video on, a guy recording his voice, and you have to go back and forth as much as you can until you can't do it anymore. And mostly the person who had the most ability to stay the longest was most athletic, and all that childish thing we all like, oh, he's athletic, ah. So some of you guys may already know. Most likely, if you don't know, it's pretty much used to measure athletic maximal aerobic functions as well as aerobic capacity, and change direction quality, as well as ability to recover when during the exercise. So a lot of players who do this, it's not really for football players or basketball players. Well, basketball players, I would say, is in part of this category. It's not really talked about a lot. I'm not sure why, but this is mainly for field hockey, netball, I never even heard of netball, and handball, and also soccer, as you guys know. So the reason why this test is usually shown in a lot of sports or in school is that for school though, they're mainly used to see how well a student is throughout the years of them being in either elementary, middle school, or high school, to see how active they are. When it comes to sports, pretty much sport is shown that see how well an athlete can do in practice and during games to see their ability to play on a high level. So for this test, use cones. And you can also use a time watch if you want, but I really wouldn't recommend it. But also you will have to use, mainly have to use, is a voice recorder guy. So a guy would say, every time they go back and forth, he'll say 1, then he'll say 2, and then 3, and then etc, etc. So as you guys see right here, what I meant by 6 cones is that would be 3 on each side. So what most of the athletes would do is they would run from one side to another and pretty much take a rest from the left side to the right side depending on how the field is set up. So this is me, guys. I am running from one side to another. Usually in this you will have a person in the background counting 1 when you get to one side, and then it will be 2 and go to the other side. So it's usually recording that, if you guys don't remember when we were in high school, that recording would be a man in the background counting those every time you go back and forth from one side to another. And you pretty much do this as long as you can. So usually a lot of athletes, they'll go from one end and they'll rest for a couple, like maybe 3 seconds, and then turn back around. Usually they'll turn around or just stop and go straight back. As for a lot of athletes, the test usually lasts about until if you hit 50 to 80, depending on how long a person runs. So mostly a lot of athletes will be around the 70 to 60 range, which is pretty average. And then when the person on the test is about 80, 90, usually around that range, is really good. Also, when taking this test, you will also have to find out the final running speed for that person, and also the gender, if it's a male or a female, as well as the age of that person, and also the weight. So when calculating this at the end, you pretty much do this, and this is a lot. I'll put a picture right up here. So as you guys see, you pretty much have to like multiply and add and minus, all that. But you take the body weight, the age, the amount of time they did on it, and also the gender as well. And then after you do all of that, you pretty much get the final answer of that one person that you did. So as you guys see right here, we have a male chart, and I'm going to show you guys female part after this one. So as you guys see, you may be a little bit confused about this chart because of the years. So pretty much it shows you how males are throughout the years. So you see so for the years, as you guys see, it says middle school, high school, and then it shows the years in each of those. So throughout those years, they show the progress of how the male are during those years in those sports. So they put that in the chart in this. So they level out and see how it is from throughout the other years, so that they see how well a lot of male athletes are. As for female, the same thing. So as you guys see, you have high school, middle school, and then you have the sports that they play throughout the years. Same thing with female. So you pretty much see a really good amount of increase in level on this chart. So a lot of times male and female, they have a lot of similar traits, but a lot of people look at the male as like the more dominant in sports, which really isn't true because there are a lot of females who are honestly the same level as male. So with this chart, it shows you that how a male or a female play in their sport and how well they do throughout the years of playing it, no matter what age difference they are. If I had to add it to another category, I would say mainly if you're trying out for the Army and Navy, that'll be really, really good. I'm guessing they do that for that as well. I don't know how their tests are when it comes to fitness. I would also say this, as you guys know, the US Open, you have those ball boys. I'm guessing they mainly have them doing that as well. As you guys know, every time the ball comes out at a different direction, they have to run across the net and get the ball. So I'm guessing they might do some certain type of test for that. It's kind of sports related, but kind of something, you know.